Hello and welcome to Breakfast Central on a Monday morning. Apologies for starting way behind time. It's not our fault, but you'd get to see the reason why it happened to be so. My name is Joe Hansen, and today on a Monday morning, we want to quickly announce that we do have a lot in store for you. A lot has happened right from Friday, from the budget presentation, down to what actually took place over the weekend. And down here in Lagos, it's really getting dirty in terms of Dirty December. But don't let me spill the tea. Once again, welcome and thanks for joining us.
I mean, it's the festive season is upon us, but there are no holiday blues here. We're here to serve you 24 hours, 365. Bring you all the information you need to start your day right here on Breakfast Central. It's official Christmas week. We're still waiting for the Harmattan in Lagos, but because of global weather patterns, I mean, the Harmattan is hanging somewhere. Maybe in the traffic in Kogi State, and when the roads are better, the Harmattan will make its way down to Lagos. That's the only element of Christmas that is missing. The lights are there. People are going to, I just said they were going for tourism. And we also saw the indigents, I mean, the Alex Oti's state, that's Abia State, yes. He did commission the Christmas lights, and it was funfair. They were so happy and jubilant. I love Abians. They're very thankful and grateful. They celebrate little victories. Remember the street lights incident?
They brought their chairs out.
It means, I mean, it just shows the level of governance that they've had before Alex Oti took office. But our focus is not Abia State. We're focusing, we're beaming our searchlight on the entire country. So many things are happening. I also want to appeal to Lagos State, please. A lot of the roads are terrible. I had my fourth, if I'm not mistaken, tire blowout this weekend because I ran into a pothole that I didn't know was there. So please, let's do something about the potholes. Otherwise, I've discussed this with Olive. I might proceed with something I've done, you know, put a small cake and the birthday.
I'm part of the show because I don't understand. People have just been talking as
if... Are you a statue?
I don't understand. You will not let me talk. You have been doing your intro for the past 5 years.
Olive, I want to officially hand over to you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I will never allow you to land. Thank you for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central. It's the week of Christmas, and we're very excited, counting down the days. But yeah, I know Christmas. I've done my Christmas, trying out something new. But we will get into the conversations proper, sharing with you some of the latest developments and what to expect on the show. Interestingly, the budget has been presented by the president while the lawmakers were standing on his mandate. We'll be sharing you the details of that in a moment, but we're going a very quick break. And when we come back, Wake Up Conversations kicks off in full swing. Stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We begin the conversations this morning by first informing you that we're streaming live on YouTube at News Central TV. Please drop a comment, react to any of the stories that we have there. We'd love to get your thoughts on this. All right, we'll now be beginning with the tint permit and the update regarding the tint permit. The Nigerian Police Force has defended its decision to resume enforcement of the tinted glass permit policy, countering claims by the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, that the move is unlawful or aimed at extortion. The policy was initially scheduled for enforcement beginning January 2nd, 2025, but was paused following public outcry and legal challenges. After months of suspension, the police resumed enforcement in December 2025, citing heightened security concerns and the need to bolster public safety. Now, responding to this criticism, the first public relations officer, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, clarified via official X account that the tinted glass permit remains a valid requirement under existing regulations. He emphasized that the policy is intended to aid law enforcement in crime prevention, not to harass motorists. Hundeyin also reaffirmed the force's commitment to professionalism and urged citizens to report any misconduct, maintaining that the enforcement is being carried out within the bounds of the law despite the NBA's objections. You can see here, he says tinted glass permits are renewed for the same reason passports, driver's licenses and visas are. Updated data helps for better planning and security planning. Crime fighting statistics must be current. Biometrics or status may change, and offenses committed in the interval can affect eligibility. Renewal also prevents criminals from hiding indefinitely behind old permits and creates another lawful opportunity for detection. Remember that victims of insecurity live with lifelong trauma if they survive. No amount of money spent on security is more expensive than insecurity, and no country can rely on outdated statistics. When I saw that tweet, the first response I saw was Benga Borowa's response to it, say, Ben, you missed out on this. Your response was the first. And a number of the reactions to this are, first of all, asking, with national passports here in Nigeria, the earliest you can renew your passport is after 4 years.
Yeah.
Right? With your driver's license, we don't renew driver's license every year. We
5
renew
years.
driver's license either 4 or 5 years. So when we have the passport and the driver's license renewed after 4 or 5 years, why do we need to renew the tinted glass permit every year? 1. 2, what is the logic behind getting a tinted permit, and what is the correlation behind getting a permit and using it to fight insecurity? Can't a criminal get a tinted glass permit and then still go ahead and commit their crimes?
Do people not commit crimes without tinted glasses? What happens? Is the tinted glass permit what's it called? Is it like a deterrent to stop and search? Because I don't really understand the logic. It doesn't make sense. And when they told Mr. Benunde that this is nothing but a revenue generating exercise, he was still very defensive. I really think the courts should come out and put an end to this, because logically and security-wise, it doesn't change anything. And the Vanguard newspaper put up a hit piece yesterday that, I know, come on, we're not kids. They said some people they vandalized transformers and then they were transported in tinted glass vehicles.
Very funny. Very, very funny. The majority of those who commit crimes in Lagos, the ones that we hear about, they don't come with tinted vehicles. A number of them are with either keke or they are with bikes. Now bikes have been reduced. They even commit crimes in traffic. While you are waiting in traffic, they can come and break your side mirror, or they break into your car and try to forcefully obtain your goods and your services, or just basically rob you. So we don't understand the correlation between getting a tinted permit glass and fighting crime. And I applaud Mr. Hunden on a number of his policies and how he comes to respond to them, but I think that this one was a miss. But let's take a look at the Nigerian Bar Association's reference. They had, of course, stepped into the arena to speak about this. They've been at the forefront of speaking against the tinted glass permit. Let's listen.
It is, and as it is, if it is a crime fighting measure by the police or policy by the police, and not a money revenue making one, as we contend it is, and as it is indeed, why can't this data be obtained at the point of renewal of your vehicle particulars, which involves the police, the customs, the state security service, and the licensing authority? Why is the IG so interested in compelling members of the public to pay money into a private account? And there's a lot of opacity. How did they arrive at the amount being paid? How is this money being spent and shared? If it is for public purposes, why is it not being paid into federal government account through a TSA account?
Food for thought.
Very salient points raised there by Mazi Osigwe. Yes.
The MB
on
president.
this policy. The transparency, I mean, the police's reaction just reeks of desperation. They haven't come out to answer these questions bordering on transparency. And then when they challenged Benjamin Hunde, when he put out that post comparing apples and oranges, saying you renew your passports. You don't renew your passports on a yearly basis. You don't renew your driver's license on a yearly basis. Even permanent residence cards are not renewed on a yearly basis. He came out to say it's only 5,000 naira, or as if 1,000 naira taxpayers' money is not a lot of money.
Besides,
you're not entitled to my money.
Even
if it's 5,000 naira yearly, it's my money. You're not entitled to. You still owe me an explanation
on how you spend it. Besides, the essence of the passport it serves as some form of a national identity and a travel document. The essence of the driver's license is to ensure that I have gone through professional driver's training and I'm qualified to ply the roads and, to move the car and ply the roads. What is the essence of the tinted glass permit? We have other documents we have the owners, the registration document, you have your road safety worthiness, you have there's a number of renewals, your licenses that we have to renew every year. And these already contain our information. What additional information will be contained in this tinted glass permit that they cannot get from, roadworthiness, or they can't get from the owners, the certificate of ownership, or they can't get from, what's that other one? Your insurance document.
Registration platforms.
A number of registrations that car owners do every year. And whether you like it or not, most Nigerians believe that this is just another revenue generation allocation policy. But let's see what Nigerians are saying on X. Don't take my word for it. Heading to X now to take some of the tweets about what Nigerians are saying. If our producers can please put up the tweets so we can run through them. All right. While those tweets are coming up, remember that you can share your thoughts on YouTube. We have some comments on YouTube, which I'll take shortly. Papando says, thank you. However, the main question is why this renewal should be yearly, even if the fee is 200 naira. Why should it have such a short lifespan? Why not 5 years, for instance? See why this looks like a revenue generation attempt? The next tweet. If the police does not cause a revolution in Nigeria last, the Senate will continue tormenting already poor Nigerians with overtaxation. Yes, that permit is a tax. That is what he says. If systems and procedures are straightforward and without hassles, then it wouldn't be a challenge. But when you have a situation where people will spend productive hours on a day trying to get something done and still may not be able to accomplish it, because some members of the force will see it as an opportunity to create bottlenecks and unnecessary bureaucracy, that's where the challenge is. Also, why the urgency? Wouldn't it be a lot more noteworthy to have the courts reach a conclusion first before we jump into implementation? It's not just even courts reaching a conclusion first. If there's a court judgment
you
about
need to respect.
You have to respect it. It's contempt of court to act against a court judgment. Uncle Benton, Uncle Benton, I don't know why they call him Benton. Benton is that cartoon. You have spoken well with the aid of ChatGPT.
Wow.
With the aid of ChatGPT. However, you mind throwing more light to these critical questions. If biometric data is truly the issue, why do passports and driver's licenses, which rely heavily on biometrics, have renewed cycles of 5 to 10 years, while tinted glass permits are renewed annually? What specific biometric or security variables materially change within 1 year to justify yearly renewal? Good. And where is the publicly available data showing this has improved crime prevention? 3, how does this policy avoid becoming a revenue-driven exercise rather than a security measure, especially in the absence of transparent reporting on arrests or crimes solved through tinted permit renewals? This is what Charles says on X. And on YouTube, Prince Ajibade says, Benjamin knows very well that Nigeria's police is the most, he says they are the most unlawful. He doesn't understand the logic behind this rubbish. It makes no sense. He goes on to say they don't answer to those questions. Every agency must contribute to the continuation of the Renewed Hope 2027. Showore keeps reminding us that, there are so many things here that are triggering that unfortunately
are not suitable for broadcast.
I will not be able to read on TV. Felix Okechukwu says, so crime is the trigger for them to cash out. Looking like there's an order to all FG non-profit organizations to urgently start looking for a way to make money. Majority of Nigerians, you're seeing that everyone feels that this is a money-making revenue scheme. And it's not too late for the police to backtrack on this. It's not too late for you to obey the court order. It's not too late to wait for the court to decide.
They have 11 days. The
exactly, January 2nd is
from now, January 2nd.
Yes, so just hold on.
If Delta State, they filed an injunction, an ex parte, to stop them January 2nd. So between now and January 2nd, 11 days, let's see what will come out of it. That's exactly what we're going to look forward to. But my question really is, just as we move on to the next story, if they're renewing this every year, the only thing you renew every year, as far as we're concerned, is the house rent. So is my tinted permit now a house rent? Just recently, again, the police tried collecting money, especially in May 2025. They tried collecting money for ECMR. That was cancelled. Yeah. In short, let me even mention here, I was still stopped. The same period I was stopped. They were asking me, okay, let me have your ECMR. And in front of me, they told someone, why is your car tinted? Where is your tint permit? So they're still collecting and holding Nigerians for having tinted glasses, even when it hasn't gone into full swing, which is January the 2nd. So, bottom line, let's get to see. I think Nigerians have spoken. Let's wait and see if the court injunction will be respected, obeyed, or they would actually
law enforcement.
Or see if the law enforcement is actually law abiding. Now, to our next story, which We'll see. It is good news. Another wave of joy has swept through Niger State as 130 more pupils abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri were released weeks after the harrowing incident that shocked the nation. This marks the second group of children to regain freedom following the earlier release of over 100 pupils shortly after the November 2025 abduction. The news was confirmed in a tweet by Sunday Diary, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Public Affairs, who praised the efforts of the security agencies and local stakeholders in securing their safe return. While details of the operation remain under wraps, the development has brought renewed hope to families and intensified calls for stronger security around schools in vulnerable communities. The government has reiterated its commitment to protecting students and ensuring that such tragedies are never repeated. So this is good news. Good news, we see the tweet here. Another 130 abducted Niger State pupils released, none left in captivity. The remaining 130 school children abducted by terrorists at St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State, have now been released. We can see the tweet. Well, let's quickly move on to what Nigerians are saying, and then we can come back to wrap up with our thoughts about this. This is a big joke taken too far. Imagine what you guys are celebrating. Is this how a true sovereign nation operates? Where are the perpetrators? This administration is full of comedians disguising in agbada and corporate wares from Aso Rock. Who do us like this? Jimo asks. And it's a pity telling Nigerians that the captives have been released. What is the story behind the captors? You guys should keep deceiving yourselves, Honorable Sioma Vincent says. And our next tweet, catch and release, rinse and repeat, 2 cents of reason, says, facts. Their cousins took them on excursion and just returned the That game you guys are playing won't win any sympathy for y'all. If you don't cast, you don't cast. Ikosa Dodeka says. After payment, or you forgot to add that, Clive says. And that is our final tweet for the day.
It's very sad that we...
Yes, and the question is exactly what Nigerians have been asking. What happened? What happened behind the scenes? How were they released? If these people who have put the nation through so much turmoil, put us through the stress of wondering, parents through the stress of not being able to spend time with their children
for almost a month,
for such a long time. The question is, what exactly happened while they were away? It is a really sad situation that the bar has been dropped so low. But let's now go back to something that we started Wake Up Conversations with. We had told you about the president presenting the budget to the lawmakers. One thing that has been criticized over and over again, not just on this show, but in Nigeria at large, is the fact that in presenting budgets in public events where the president is appearing or attending, we see the official campaign song of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu being sung as opposed to the national anthem. And he then asked the question, is he just the president of the All Progressives Congress, or is he the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? This is a video where he presented the budget to lawmakers. And now let's listen to the official introduction and welcoming of the president by lawmakers.
3.98% in the third quarter of year 2025, up from 3.86% in the third quarter of year 2024, year in, year out. Inflation
In case you are in doubt, that was the On Your Mandate We Shall song being sung at the National Assembly while the president presented his budget, an action that has been criticized. It was criticized when the judges were also accused of singing. Even though they didn't sing, they stood up while the band played the On Your Mandate We Shall song.
Do you think the presidency has heard this feedback that
there's no way that they cannot have heard it. There's no way they cannot have heard it.
So why are they ignoring the cries of Nigeria? Or does somebody need to take them to court before they do what is right?
The question is, who's going to take them to court?
And it's commonsensical. Campaign seasons are over. You are president of the whole of Nigeria, not president of a political party. So the national anthem should suffice for presidential entry. We've hosted events at the highest level,
should come and speak about this as well. Yes.
You know, funnily, I think a lot of people have tried getting their hands on the National Orientation Agency to ask them this question. However, let's also keep in mind that what is happening, like what we say, is setting a precedent of what will happen in the future.
Exactly.
So
if
in
we
the
allow
future,
this to
in
go
the
on,
future, exactly.
the impunity.
If another president comes and carves his own song that doesn't in any way speak to the quality, to the type of people Nigerians are, and says even makes it as a rule, nobody should complain.
Just to mention that when people think it's much ado about nothing, the reason why this is often highlighted is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. He's not the president of the All Progressives Congress. Nigeria has several political parties, several people of different religions, different faiths. And when it seems like the only song being sung is the campaign song, it in a way makes people feel like the president is tilted to one party, tilted to his party, especially now that we're seeing a lot more people moving to the All Progressives Congress, and there's been argument about Nigeria becoming a one-party state. It's not a good look.
So,
and I hope that Mr.
And then
Bayo
it's also developing a cult of personality.
Yes.
We already have that Ashewaju hat, and now there's a song, accompanying song. I mean, we should be more respectful and sensitive to other people.
So when it comes to national broadcast
views,
what song is going to start?
National anthem. Anything that involves the public. When it goes to the APC meetings, they can play On Your Mandate We Shall Stand. But when it's a government event, when it's an event that concerns the general public,
the
country, it should be the national anthem. What this looks like is because on a normal day, there's checks and balances for a reason. The lawmakers at the legislature, there's the executive, and it feels like the legislature is now dancing to the tune of the executive. What they should do is to hold the executive to account. But when they start out by singing the praises of the president's political party, it just looks like what they're coming there for is formality, and it's business as usual.